And we were just talking about the DA's office in Yolo County just put out a press release warning that there's some scams going around targeting undocumented immigrants, things like that. I'm sure you've heard of these as being an immigration attorney. What can you say to people who may come across some people approaching them saying, you know, we can get you these government documents, just pay us something and we'll do something for you. How do people protect themselves against things like that?
That's a great question, and I've been doing this over 16 years, and it's unfortunate to see these scams over the years that happen. And a lot of times they target the people who are the most vulnerable, who are the most desperate. And the one way to protect them yourself is to go onto the USCIS website and just look and see if there's any updates there. You can also contact an immigration attorney's office as well to see if there are any updates. But there's no clear path to citizenship from being undocumented all the way to becoming a citizen. So the first red flag for you would be if it's too good to be true, it probably is, because the immigration process isn't easy. So you can't just, before getting citizenship, you gotta become a permanent resident and then apply for citizenship. And generally that's, once you become a permanent resident, you need to be a permanent resident for 3 years before, if you've been married, or 5 years if you're not married, before you can even apply for citizenship. So to go completely from undocumented then to citizenship is something that's unfortunately too good to be true.
So there's no quick path, no quick fix.
No, there's no quick fix, and we get that question a lot of times because it's very frustrating because the process is so long. But
how long could the process be?
Well, so you're talking about being undocumented, and let's say you get a green card, so you're talking about 5 years before you can even apply for citizenship, and then you have the processing time involved, so let's add another year to that, so that's 6 years. And then it could be even longer than that, depending upon, like, if you're filing through employment and you're like from India or China, where the process is even longer. It could be like, I have people waiting 10 years or longer. So you have that process, and then let's say you're ready for applying for citizenship. Right now it's taking around a year. You know, those times change depending upon the government processing times. But that's once you're even eligible, but there's a lot of steps that you have to do before you even get to that point.
And it seems like people are going to these like migrant camps, things like that. That's what it seems like they're targeting people and saying, there's government documents here, but they're free. they're telling people.
Exactly, yeah. So you can get those forms off of the USCIS website, but you can't even apply. Those forms are useless because you're not even eligible. So it's a lot more complicated than just like the forms. And so my recommendation is, if you think you might be eligible, you're approached, and you're first of all, ask a lot of questions, but call out an immigration lawyer or go to the USCIS website, and they'll tell you, if there's something that's available. But especially in the political climate that we're in now, there's definitely, if it's too good to be true, you should be really asking a lot of questions, because there's no forms of relief that have been granted that are generous in nature like that since the new president has been elected.
And another red flag is just probably being approached, period. Like,
exactly.
Who's going to approach you about that?
Right. So I have to commend the DA's office for being proactive in protecting the community, and that's great that they're doing that.
Do you happen to know offhand what some of those documents are called? Do they have a name or a certain form?
For the the citizenship forms, that form N400, and that's the form that if you're just applying for citizenship.
Right, N400. I got you. And you can get that on the website.
Yeah, USCIS.gov.
I mean, would you say a lot of these people are just gullible and they just believe people because they want to have that American dream?
Well, I think it's
and you can keep looking.
okay.
Sorry.
It is basically that they're so desperate, and so they want to believe that there is something up there, because there's no other option for them. So we get those people too, and they're really upset sometimes when we tell them, like, your options are really limited here. and they want to believe like there's an easy path, and so when someone approaches them, they jump on it because they're facing such a difficult life out there, not having status. And there's really, in reality, the truth is there's not many paths to becoming legal. There are some, but it's very hard for some people.
And of course they're going to go to where they're preying on those folks who they know they're even trying to work and things like that. So they'll go to some of these migrant camps and hand out different flyers. That's what the DA's office is saying, like handing out flyers, approach us, we'll get you, something quickly, and it just never works out. And they get their money taken that they've worked hard for.
Exactly.
They don't even have much of extra anyway.
And they work really, really hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.